I am the CEO, Matilda Swinston. I run the non-profit organization, Dihydrogen Monoxide. We educate people about the life force, the juice of all living things. The one thing that I care about more in life than myself. Water.
Us scientists theorize that water came to Earth via meteorites. These meteorites are known as carbonaceous chondrite. The water in carbonaceous chondrite contains an amount of deuterium similar to that of Earth's water. Deuterium is also known as heavy hydrogen. For every 1 million water molecules on Earth, 150 of them contain deuterium. Regular hydrogen only has a proton in its nucleus, while heavy hydrogen has both a proton and a neutron in its nucleus. That's what makes it different.
Hi, I am Rebecca Sanchez, intern at the Dihydrogen Monoxide organization. Sorry, I was chewing on some ice. Oh, speaking of ice, density. You know water's density is 997 kilograms per cubic meter. Crazy, right? Its molar mass is 18.1 grams per mole. Water, well, we all know it freezes, right? You want to know its freezing point? Freezing point is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Seems kind of cold and warm, but if that doesn't get cold enough for you, it's also the same as 0 degrees Celsius. Did you know that, water expands when it freezes? It's one of the only elements that does it. Weird, right? But why does it expand when it freezes? I'll tell you. Water, when it's in its liquid form, the hydrogen bonds always break and reform and break and reform and break and reform. When they break and reform, they're more closer together. But as the temperature drops, the molecules start coming closer together. As it freezes, the hydrogen bonds now stretch to their full extent, forming a crystalline hexagonal structure, which is the strongest structure that we know. Then, since it's in a strong hexagonal structure, it makes it harder for ice to break. Most ice is empty space, since there are a lot of space between in that hexagonal structure. I don't know how to say hexagons with my hands, but you know what I'm talking about. 6-sided figure.
Opposites attract. As you can see, water is made up of hydrogen, which is positively charged, and an oxygen, which is negatively charged. These atoms combine to form water molecules, which are positively and negatively charged. The positive end of one water molecule attaches itself to the negative end of another. This process is known as cohesion, which means water sticks to itself.
Ocean water is also good to drink because it is the most available water on Earth. Water covers about 71% of the Earth's surface, and 95.6% of that water is saline water. This leaves about 4.4% of Earth's water as fresh water. However, most of that fresh water is frozen in glaciers, leaving about 0.007% of Earth's water as both accessible and drinkable. Another interesting thing about fresh water, apart from its scarcity, is that it has a pH level of 6 to 8. This variation in the levels is because fresh water is often surrounded by either dirt or bedrock. Bedrock because a lot of fresh water is underground and hard for us to access because of that. The soil and rock that it is surrounded by, if it has a lot of phosphorus or sulfur, can lower the pH level down to 6. And if it just has a lot more, and if it has less of those two elements, it can raise it up to 8. Finally, pure water. Pure water is my favorite water, not only because it does not exist in the natural environment, but because it just tastes only of water. And that is because pure water is truly neutral, with a pH of 7, because it is only made up of H2O. No other molecule exists in pure water. If it does, it is not purely pure water. Pure water does not conduct electricity, and that is how I test whether or not my pure water is pure. You cannot see it, but at the office that I have at our business building, instead of this workspace I have out at home, I have a taser, and I checked all my pure water with it, to make sure that my intern gives me pure water. If it conducts electricity, I throw it at her. Because that's not what I asked for. If you want to know why it doesn't conduct electricity, look back to our scientists talking about cohesiveness and about the partial positive and negative charges, because apparently electricity does not like that. I don't exactly know. I don't learn about electricity, I learn about water. Because I am CEO of a water foundation. So remember, kiddos, donate to us, because humans are made up of 60 to 70% water. So without water, you would be dead. So keep water alive. Donate to our foundations. That way, you can drink water. You can play in water. You can continue to be water. Without water, life is non-existent. And if life is non-existent, it is meaningless. So give meaning to your life. Donate today. Please. I like scuba diving.
Water has a high specific heat capacity. This is because some of that heat is needed to break the bonds between hydrogen atoms. A high specific heat capacity is the amount of heat needed to raise the temperature in a gram of a substance.